Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Hello, everyone. We are back with another live. Just gonna wait for some people to come in. We'll get started.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Hi, how's everyone doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here today.
Yeah, of course, Martin. We're so excited to have you. Everyone, this is Martin. He works with us here at Wonsulting. He's a Wonsulting expert, also hiring manager and recruiter. So we're going to be breaking down what the perfect resume looks like today. We're going to wait about 5 minutes to let everybody come in, start answering your questions, and then we'll go from there. We're also hoping to break down some resume myths and, kind of give you guys the 411 on what you need to get everybody's attention in the hiring space. So make sure you're leaving your comments down below. Hi, everyone. I see some familiar faces in here. Hi, Lauren. Hey. Hi, everybody.
If you guys joined in on our previous lives before, send us an emoji, maybe a heart emoji if you guys already saw us last week. We're really excited to be here again with you guys. So make sure to send all the emojis you can, and we'll shout you out before we get started. Hello, Bertha, Jamuna, Daniel. Hello, everyone.
Hi. How's everybody's day going? Happy Friday, everybody. This is the highlight of my week every week. So I'm so excited to be here. How's everyone doing? Hi, Edison.
Lauren, awesome. We see the hearts. Ava, Jalen.
Oh my gosh, so many familiar faces in here. Hi, everybody.
Happy Friday, Tatiana, Vikram. Do you guys have any plans for the weekend? Let us know in the comments.
Aloha.
That's perfect. A lot of people online here. That's great. And that on a Friday at this time, huh?
I know. Our followers are so committed, you guys. We have the best team in the entire world. Everyone who supports Wonsulting, they are top notch. We see you guys. We appreciate you guys. Hi, Shannon. People tuning in from YouTube. Hi, everybody. This is actually a live sing'em. Hi, how are you?
Awesome. All right, we'll give it a few more minutes just for people to come in, and we'll get started. Farhan, hello. Shannon, Sanusha.
Cindy, I'm seeing they sent you connection requests last week on LinkedIn. You're going to have to make sure to follow up with everybody. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten back to your messages, guys. There was like over 100 of you last week. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm listening, but I'm trying my best to get back to you.
Yeah, same here. Hello, Keith again. Welcome back. So nice to see familiar faces. We're so excited to talk to you guys again.
Ooh, an 80s party? Daniel, where's the invite? Going to Austin? I'm going to be in Dallas next week. Hi, Meng. Hi, Keith. Good to see you again.
Awesome.
That is crushing here. A lot of people. That's good.
I know.
Perfect.
One more minute, guys, then we're going to go ahead and get started.
Hello, Rishi, Tenzin, Edison. We're so excited. All right. Hi, Nabil.
Martin, the new face. Yes. You guys are going to meet Martin here in just a minute. He's going to give himself a little introduction. Bonjour. Hi.
Cheyenne, they said, did you see that one?
Tell me when you're visiting Dallas. I'll be there August 5th.
Daniel in Mexico. Oh my.
Fresh invite. I love Mexico. Alrighty, everybody. Thanks so much for your comments. We're going to go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone. New faces, returning faces. So nice to see you. We're so happy you're here. My name is Cheyenne. I'm the Chief of Staff here at Wonsulting, and we are so ready to start Wonsulting Speaker Series, episode 3. Can you believe that? We're on the third one already. This is so much fun. You guys are giving us so much motivation, so many questions. So we're so excited to be here every single week. I've marked my calendar. That's what I like to see. We are also accompanied by Cindy. I'll let her introduce herself. You guys might recognize her familiar face. And then we also have our guest speaker. Cindy, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Cheyenne. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to see you guys again. I was here last week with Cheyenne and Chris. My name is Cindy. I am the marketing associate for Wonsulting, and I manage our social media. If you guys have seen me on the Instagram lives. And yeah, I'm really excited again to be here. So I'll hand it off to Martin now.
Hey, hello, everybody. Thank you very much for having me. I'm super excited. I'm actually part of the Wonsulting team since a couple of months. Beside that, I am working as a recruiter. I'm the head of talent acquisition at Bioptimizers. But I'm not only working for one company. I'm actually a recruiting consultant. I have our own company. It's called Star 6. And I do recruiting beside career consulting, interview preparation, resume revisions. And that's how I got to Wonsulting, because I'm stealing with pride a lot of their great information, and I'm sharing that with mainly the Canadian folks. I'm actually located in Canada, in Ottawa. I am a registered professional recruiter. I'm in the Association of Professional Recruiters in Canada. There's only about 1,200 people doing that, besides about 30,000 recruiters in Canada. So it's a fairly not so common career path, and actually real training. I have to actually write a real test to pass that, to do that. But beside that, I am the head of talent acquisition for a great online supplement company. It's called Bioptimizers. That's where I do most of the recruiting for. So I have a regular contract with them, and they're only hiring remote, great, awesome people. And I'm there to select some of them. Okay, so yeah. Want to tell you a little bit about myself, why I came to recruiting. Actually, I always had an interest in people. I worked a long time as a consultant for continuous improvement. And I have a long history in manufacturing, in leadership positions as well. I have been all my life kind of somewhat being involved in recruiting, not as a recruiter, but touching base with it. And I really love to talk with people. And I consider myself a people person. And that's how I ended up in this position. The pandemic actually pushed me a little bit through that when I could not travel anymore and do in-house classes. So I thought, what am I going to do next? And then I made my passion that I always did on the side to my full-time job right now. So that's a little bit towards my background. I'm going to pop my my LinkedIn profile, the link to that in the chat there as well. So if you guys wish to connect, reach out, feel free to do that.
Yeah, everybody, let's leave a clap emoji for Martin. Welcome, Martin. Thank you so much for being here. Drop them in the chat. We're going to call you guys out. Say thank you so much for being here. You guys connected with us a ton last week, so let's show Martin the same amount of love. I see a ton of people tuning in from all over the globe. I see Missouri. I see New York, Canada. Hi, everybody. I'm located in LA. Cindy is also located in Canada. Do we have any California friends in the chat? Let me know. Let me know. I'm feeling left out on this side over here, guys. Las Vegas. Okay, close. I'll take it.
Getting closer.
Everybody's welcome to connect. Make sure that when you send us a connection request, you leave a note. That is the way that we will 100% accept your request. Otherwise, we don't know who you are or why we should connect with you. So make sure to send a note with your request. Cuba, oh my goodness, everyone from everywhere. I love it. New York City, Ventura County. Okay, super close, super close. California. Woohoo! We love it. San Diego. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so really, let's start breaking down the nitty gritty, right? Like, why are you guys here at this speaker series? What are we doing today? So we're actually super excited to be having you guys because we're going to be talking about how to make the perfect resume from a recruiter and hiring manager perspective. So we wanted to start off by doing a quick little 30-minute Q&A. So you guys need to start dropping your questions in the chat for Martin, myself, and Cindy to answer. We're going to really rely on Martin here since he is the perspective you guys are looking for. Tell us, your most commonly asked questions about a resume. What are some resume rumors maybe you want debunked? What are the one thing that maybe you are curious to know a hiring manager looks for? How long do they spend looking at your resume on average? Drop the questions in the chat. Let's keep going. Let's get this conversation flowing. Cindy said she's getting back to everybody, guys. I promise. She's going to accept your request.
Yes, after this, I will look through. I'm so sorry. Like Cheyenne said, there were so many. I'm sorry, you guys, if I missed you. I will definitely take a look again and, connect with you guys who sent me a note. Thank you. All right. So, guys, don't hesitate. Ask us anything you're curious about, resumes and just what you guys would like to know. Like Cheyenne said, anything that you would like to get debunked, anything that you're curious about.
Ooh, I see a good first question here, Martin. Why
I wanted to say, don't leave me hanging here with no question.
Martin, one of our first questions is, why do recruiters ghost people?
Well, that's a good question. It's actually very sad to have people doing that. I can speak for myself. I always make it every effort to be the last person to communicate with a person reaching out. I have even given advice what to do different on their resumes and all this. I would say I have missed people as well, not wanting to miss them. So number one, what I really suggest you doing when you reach out once, give the recruiter the benefit of the doubt. We're only humans as well. We can miss something. Please allow a little bit time and then give us a little bit of a nudge. If you don't get a response, then you can be fairly sure that this person does not want to get back to you for whatever reasons. I think my suggestion is that most people who don't get back to you are not driven by the company culture to do so. And I'm really making it a habit for myself. I mentioned that I'm a consultant for recruiting. I'm not only recruiting for one company, I'm recruiting for the US and for Canada for multiple companies. And I do not work with companies who are ghosting people because I don't like that for myself. I like to get an answer and I work very hard to give an answer. I think if recruiters are ghosting you is a little bit of a sign that there's something from the top down in the company. It's not the greatest, that they don't take that serious to get back to people, because there is time to get back to somebody, even if it's not a very personalized, quick automated message and saying, I'm sorry, you're not selected sometimes. If they don't do that, I feel like that is not good practice. And I personally don't want to be part of a company doing or following these practices.
Claps to Martin. I'm sure all of you in the comments, all of our job seekers, current hiring managers, people who maybe have a job but are here just for the tips and tricks. I'm sure you guys can all appreciate that, right? We want a recruiter like Martin. We want someone who's going to send us a message, even if we didn't get it, but let us know, hey, right now might not be the best fit. Doesn't mean give up. It means just not right now. I love that, Martin. Thank you so much for sharing. Cindy, any questions in the chat? There's a ton in here. Anything that stands out to you?
Yeah, for sure. You guys flooded us. We're going to try to get through as much as we can. But another one I see here, Kat asked, I didn't finish my DBA. Do you recommend listing completed hours or courses or both? Listing my courses can make it long. So, Martin, would you have any tips on that?
Perfect. Great question. And I feel it is very important to include that if it's relevant to the position you're applying for. So if there's too many courses to list, I would suggest you can go the following way. You can say I completed 50%, 75% of the courses, or you can say if you're still working on something and you want to finish in the future, you can say the anticipated completion day will be May 2024, no matter what it is. If you have that on your resume, and that's important for the recruiter and the hiring manager, they will pick up on that in the interview, and they will ask you actually for specific courses, something that's relevant to them. You can, or you should always list everything that you are aware of from the job description. Let's say you've taken a class, you finished a course, and something like that is mentioned in the job description. You should add that because that's important. But you don't need to add 10, 15 courses if they are not relevant. But you should add the overall percentage that you have completed. That's always a great idea and gives a good first overview of how far did you actually get.
Awesome. Thank you, Martin. All right. That was an amazing answer. Hope that helped you guys. Another question that we see here is, how do you keep all the information about yourself in just one page? And so before, Martin, I hand that over to you, I do want to tell you, all of you guys, that our website, Wonsulting, has so many free resources. And one of them includes our resume template, which is a free downloadable template that you guys can all use. So if you haven't already, definitely check that out. We have it in our Instagram bio. You can find it there, in our LinkedIn bio. So definitely check that out. And yeah, Martin, if you could take it away. Any other tips for the resume?
Okay, perfect. Number one, let me tell you something. The recruiter, the company knows your resume is not complete. There's way more things than you have done and in fact experience on than you're actually bringing in your resume. Here's what the important part is. You need to read the job description very thoroughly. I would recommend everybody's even taking a screenshot, because sometimes a company is taking a job posting down at one point. You have it bookmarked, and the bookmark goes into an error 404 because you can't look it up anymore before the interview. So take a screenshot of all the requirements for the position. And then this is the important part. This shows the recruiter and the hiring manager that you really understand what is important in the role. You need to kind of respond to the job ad in your resume. You need to bring these important aspects where you have transferable skills, where you work maybe on the same kind of projects, the same kind of development, or whatever you did, where you have experience. That's what you need to bring in your bullets. At this point, very important, quick addition, always have your LinkedIn link profile on top of your resume. Your profile, your LinkedIn profile, is not restricted to a word count there. You can have additional details on LinkedIn that the recruiter and the hiring manager can look up easily that you don't have in your resume because you're running out of room. It is more negative to go 2 or 3 pages to squinch everything in that is not necessary just to have it complete. Because the more you have, it's actually the more negative. Because then I can't find the information that I'm looking for fast anymore. It takes me too long, and I lose the interest in this resume. And then I will reject the person. And I know that I'm not the only one doing it. I mentioned that I'm part of the Association of Recruiters. Together with about 1,200, we are regularly meeting virtually, and we have a lot of discussions. I'm exposed to a lot of different industries. I would say every industry that there exists. And I know that every recruiter is doing it the same way. So I'm not speaking for myself here right now. The more you have in your resume that's not related to the position, the more negative it actually is.
Wow, that's so good to know, guys. What does that tell us? I think that tells me that you need two resumes, right? You need a master resume, one where you keep all of your experience, all the detailed bullet points, and then when you're applying to maybe a job title, right? Let's say you want to go for a marketing manager position. Marketing managers are typically asked to have the following qualifications to show that they're relevant for the position. You take those bullet points from your master resume and you bring it over to your marketing manager or whatever job title resume, right? You want to make this specific for you and make it interesting, because guess what? Guess how long the average recruiter spends looking at a one-page resume? Drop your comments, drop your guesses. I'm going to wait.
We'll wait for a few answers before I give you the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I really like that aspect with a master resume. I've also given people that I'm working with the advice to have kind of a complete resume on LinkedIn. Use that.
Yes.
And then you can interchange projects or skills and things that you achieved from the past. You can quickly achieve that without spending a lot of time. Just, okay, somebody is looking for web development. I've done this project. Now let's plug this in. Oh, they don't need this project, so let's take this one out for the resume, so that you don't exceed the one page. That's really important, especially if you're a new grad or if you're in an early career stage. If you're going above one resume page, that is actually highly negative. It's not seen well. And the recruiter will not read it. They will not read everything. When we get to that question, how long a recruiter is looking into that, I'm going to answer that question.
Martin, go ahead. We see a ton of guesses in here. I actually see the correct answer multiple times, so I know you guys follow us because we've said it before.
Okay, perfect. So it is actually the average time that a recruiter is looking at a resume is 6 seconds. That's very, very little. That is the average, right? Sometimes I come across a resume, I look at it, it takes me a second and a half, and I said, okay, thank you, no. If you have a real great resume, you spend 8 or 10 seconds, sometimes as well, just because you're so hooked, you want to read the rest. That's important. So you want to give it the full glance. But the 6 seconds is actually based on a survey amongst recruiters that is representative. So it is about 6 seconds that a recruiter is looking at a resume, and that is very, very little time to impress and get them to look into your LinkedIn profile and invite you for the interview later on. So the more you have, the more you are hiding what's important, and the recruiter will not see it.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you, Martin. So I hope that was insightful for a lot of you guys who may not have seen our reels already about that. So another question here, Martin. Tracy asked, is a summary or objective necessary at the top of a resume? So I know this is kind of a hot topic. It's been all over our pages as well. So if you could share just some insight on that.
Yes. It is a hot topic. So we're serving around the globe. There's a lot of different countries, a lot of different things that are starting to trickle in. For the North American market, I would say no. It is not important, and you shouldn't have it. What's the objective? You want to get a job, right? You want the job at the company where you're applying. That's your objective. Using an objective, a lot of people are making the mistake, even they're trying to get in. I want to grow, I want to learn, I want to work with a great company. They're highlighting a lot of things that are important for them. I'm going to say something now that sounds very hard, but I need to say it so clear that you understand. The company does not care about you when they look at your resume. They don't care about if you want to learn, if you want to grow, if you want to work with certain people or want to have this job. You need to tell them through your resume what's in for them. What are the impacts, the benefits, the outcome you deliver if they're going to hire you? That's important. And that is what needs to be communicated in your resume. For the North American market, you don't need an objective or a summary, and you should actually not use it. There are some exceptions, like exceptions for everything. There are some areas I know that because I grew up in Europe myself, and I worked in the UK and I worked in Germany as well. So I know these things are used there, but it is phasing out more and more. The same, like quickly bring that in on the side note here, cover letters, right? So these things are not very common anymore, and you don't need it. If you're in doubt, I highly suggest not using a summary or an objective.
Awesome. Thank you, Martin. All right. Here we go. Another question here, specific to Vikram. He asked, I recently passed high school and got into uni for my bachelor's, but I don't have significant work experience. What should I put in my resume to fill it and get my foot into the corporate world?
Okay, that's always a great thing. There's a lot of different things. If you just finished basically high school, you need to have your high school in there as the last education. Now you can be creative. You can talk about things that you like to do private. You can bring in things for volunteering. You can say, I developed a web page for a friend, for my mom's cousin, or whatever you did, the experience that you have related to the field that you want to break in. You should always highlight as well if there's certain skills required, right? You can even show transferable skills or things that you did during your education and bring these things in. Even during high school, you work on projects, right? You do presentation, you do these things. You can showcase that, bring it in, tell them what kind of software and tools and technology you used, and tell them about the outcome, right? Tell them the mark you got for a project, things like this. That is something that you can bring in into your resume. And never ever feel bad if your resume is not going to have one squeezed page side of information. This is not necessary. You are a new grad, basically. You're just starting your career. Recruiters know these things. You can even speak about your great interest, that you do this privately all the time, right? Whatever, if you're in photography, in graphic design, in web development, maybe you have created a few websites, bring these things in, speak about what you did, where this passion is coming from. So you can't even bring in experiences that are not paid, that you did for free, for friends, for family. That is a way how you can actually fill your resume a little bit and have a few ideas in there. On the other side, speak about your interest and make the interest really applicable to to the position that you are applying for, where you want to grow in. How do you come up with this, right? So these are some of the techniques you can use really to make this and fill it a little bit, to not just feel you have your name and your education on there, right?
Yes, awesome. All right. So we have a bunch here. I'm just going through. All right, all right. So let's see. Someone said, how do you stand out when 200 plus resumes are being submitted for one position? I've seen upwards of 1,200 plus on one position for the mortgage industry right now.
Yeah, really, really great question. And here comes in the 6-second review as the most important part of how you stand out. Okay, so what I always recommend to everybody who I'm working with, um, reading the job description and then customize your resume with not rewriting your resume, but highlighting or putting in bold the information where you have maybe used the same software they are looking for, where you have project experience that they are looking for, where you have achievements that they are looking for, or where you have trained people, right? Or led a team of certain people. Everything that's in the job description, that's what I call the customizing, you should have in bold in your resume. That will make it jump out to the recruiter and to the hiring manager on this short review. Um, Paying attention to detail is probably the best advice that I can give people. Read the job description, and whatever you're lining up with, make it stand out. Have it in bold. You can even use, if you want, a slightly different color that is on the darker side, not like a bright yellow or red. That wouldn't be good, but a very conservative, darker color you can use as well to make it stand out in a way. Because recruiters very often work off of a kind of a scorecard they have. The hiring manager gives them certain skills they are looking for, and the recruiter has just a couple of seconds to find some of this. Standing out is showing the recruiter what they are looking for to make them find these informations in a few seconds. That's how you're going to stand out. If it takes too long to find the information, you're going on the pile like, eventually, if I've got time, if nobody else is good enough, I'm going to go back here. You don't want to be on that pile. You want to make it within the first couple of seconds. And believe it or not, sometimes I mentioned 2 or 3 seconds and I say no. There's the same thing like 2 or 3 seconds and I say, hell yes, that's a great resume, because I see standing out already a lot of metrics, a lot of numbers, impacts, and I see people are highlighting what I am looking for. So that is the way how you can stand out from this 200 plus more. The maximum that I ever had, we closed the job after 3 hours, was 700 applicants for a marketing role. And yeah, you can't read them all. It's just like boom, boom, boom. You're going to be quick, right? So that's as best as advice as I can give you to stand out for that. Make them want to talk to you. Make them want to learn more about you.
Yeah, amazing. All right. So we'll get a few more questions and then we're going to jump into an actual resume review. So we have an awesome question here. Shannon asked, best advice for people making a career change. Sometimes we're overlooked because we don't have a background in that field yet. I'm a transitioning teacher leaving the classroom. What is the best way to rebrand or make ourselves more marketable?
Okay. So I can tell you, I actually pivoted into the career as a recruiter myself. I never had this position before, right? I had experience, I had exposure from other roles, but I never had any training or anything like that before. So the best thing what you can do to complement a pivot into a new career if you want to change is get very familiar with the industry, get very familiar with what are the recommendations, the skill set you need, and start working on something to train yourself. Find free resources. There's a lot of free training out there on the market where you can do something for free. And sometimes these little things have a huge impact on how you're seen. If you show a tendency of consistently educating yourself, improving yourself towards a new profession, right? Have 3, 4, 5 small achievements towards this role. That shows that you're very determined, that you're driven, and that you're learning, and bring these things up. The same here as well. If you're working, volunteering in something that is matching this, bring this experience in. If you do work for free for something, bring that in as well. If you serve family or friends with a career as well, because you want to learn, you want to apply, speak about this, right? So these are important aspects that you can bring in, that you need to highlight. Have less bullets on the positions that you don't want to work anymore, and focus more on what you're doing to educate yourself right now to move into the other position. Focus on what you have done physically, and even if it's just for yourself, right? I'm a self-made marketing person, right? I trained myself on graphic design. I trained myself coding. These things show high drive, and it is actually really positive to see somebody really wants to transition into a new area, and they do whatever it takes to do this first step. That would be the best recommendation I have.
Awesome. Thanks again, Martin. So I think we'll move on to our last Q&A question, and then we will move into our resume review. So our last question here, what are the main sections to include in the resume? Does it need to be specific to the job role?
So the main sections for each resume is, number one, the past experience, right? Or the professional experience, how you call it. That cannot miss in a resume, okay? You can sometimes, if it's not related, you can just have the company and your title and the time you worked there. You don't necessarily need to have a lot of bullets everywhere. That's okay. But the experience is a must in a resume. You don't want to have blank spots in there and don't talk about it at all. The next part, what's very important, is your education. Okay, so have your education in there as well. You should also talk about, especially if that is a big part of the role that you want to apply for, leadership experience or project experience, right? That is something that's very important too. And last but absolutely not least, very important, is skills section. You can even name it skills and certifications if you did certain certifications on the side as well, or online training, have anything that is related to that. Have that in there, right? You can also add your interest. I know there's always a little bit of discussion going on. Should I have interest or shouldn't I have interest on my resume? It is okay to have your interest in there. If your interest is related to the position, like say, for example, graphic design, and you love that, or you volunteer on that, it's a great thing to put in there, right? Because it builds a stronger case. So these are, I would say, the non-negotiable things that you should have in your resume that makes it very, very important and successful. Want to quickly circle back here and mention that again, the resume template that Wonsulting is given for free. We have these things in there, and just fill out whatever applies to you and follow that template, follow that standard. That will set you up for great success of not missing anything in the resume that's really crucial.
You guys heard it here first. Martin, our very own hiring manager, recruiter, and expert at Wonsulting, just told you to use the template. Because why? Because it only takes 6 seconds to catch somebody's attention, and that is the way you can make all of our different template features work to your benefit. Also, just answering one quick question I saw in the chat, file format you should use to send your electronic resume. Unless stated otherwise, Wonsulting always recommends sending in PDF formula or format. Sometimes people ask for it as a Word document. However, PDFs ensure that pretty much anyone across any type of computer, desktop, Mac, PC, whatever it is, can open your document. So thank you guys so much for participating in this Q&A. Cindy's actually going to break us in to live resume revisions. Can you guys believe it? We're going to pull up 3 different resumes. If time allows, we're going to have Martin review those for you, tell you the do's, don'ts, and what he would do different. Also, just a heads up, none of these resumes are in Wonsulting's format. So we want to break down for you guys what, common resumes look like that aren't in our format, what we can do to make them better, and if you choose not to use our format, how we can turn this resume from maybe not performing so well for a recruiter into something that does perform well in their own way and in their own formatting. So let's go ahead and share that, Cindy. We're happy to get started here.
All right, so it should pop up right now. I hope you guys can all see. And Martin, let me know if you can see that okay.
Yes, I can see that. Perfect.
Everybody drop a thumbs up in the chat if you can see the screen. Thumbs up in the chat. I'm going to be looking for those.
I'm going to give you this thumbs up. I can see it. Good.
I can see it too. Thumbs up over here.
Perfect. All right, then, Martin, whenever you're ready, we can go through this. It's actually a 3-pager. So whenever you're done with the first page, let me know and I'll continue scrolling.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So from a recruiter perspective, the first thing what you would see in this moment, it's more than a page. That would be the first red flag, which is not good. Okay. So then starting from the top right now, the top section with a name, and it has a complete address on there, which is something you shouldn't do either, because especially if a position is not a remote position, companies may reject you based on your location. So it's not a good idea to have your full address on there, because they can say, well, that's a 45-minute drive in bad traffic. They may be late in the office all the time. So don't have your full address on there. That's not good. Then I see there's 2 phone numbers on here. That's not a good idea as well. You should have 1 phone number on there, and you should have your cell phone number on there, because they're probably not going to try to call you 5 times if you're not reachable at your landline. Okay, so it's really important not to do that. Then email, very important to have it. That is there. What is missing here on the top section, basically the personal information, is the LinkedIn profile. And overall, how the section is done, you're using up a lot of space. That is actually not good, because if you're using up so much space, you're going to have a hard time to get all your resume on 1 page. So the next part is then basically kind of the objective, the summary on here. We touched that a little bit, that you should not do it for the North American market. So you should not include it at all. But towards what the person is actually saying here is something that is very much just throwing things out, saying things without any proof, without showing any impact. So usually you can do whatever people have in this summary section. Sometimes I see things that would be really great bullets to put it in later on in the job. When and where did you actually do this? And then tell me what kind of tools and techs you used, and what was the outcome, what was the impact of these things. So don't waste a lot of room for a summary. Use whatever you want to bring in your summary under the bullets in the position when you actually did it, and then give them more just saying, I did this. Tell them I did this using this software with this project. This was the outcome. That is the right format to do things. So then moving forward, the structure with the experience. There's actually a format that recruiters' eyes are trained on to find information. And that looks like the following. You have your company on top. Then you have towards the right side in the same line, you have the state and the city where this company is. Below that, you have your job function, your job title. And then on the very right side, you will have the time when you actually worked there. So that's really important. That is something that a recruiter glances over. What's important to have as a structure to find the details about, especially your job title and the time you worked there, very fast. Then towards the bullets, that's probably the biggest disappointment so far, is you do what 85% of the candidates do. They are just throwing out information about what they did: collecting, completing, inspecting, ensuring, directing. I don't know anything what they are actually doing, how they are doing things, what kind of systems, softwares they are using, what kind of soft skills they are applying to do this, what kind of outcome, what kind of impact they are generating with what they are doing. So instead of having 5 or more bullets, you can rather have less bullets that are really applicable to what the job description is looking for, and then tell them not only what you did, tell them what kind of tools, what kind of system, what kind of technology you used to complete a task. Bring in the software skills, right? Bring in the systems that you're using. Bring in the project management software that you're applying. And then tell them about the outcome, the result, what you achieved with doing these things. That is so powerful, and that brings you right away in the top 10%, if not the top 5% of resumes by doing that different. Okay, if you want to scroll further down then, let's see. So that left is okay. Okay, so then professional development. Here, I would name the section a little bit different. Number one, I would call it then certifications or professional training, and then have very important, not only naming it, fundamentals digital marketing, maybe having 2 or 3 courses you took. Something that gives them a little bit an idea of what is that actually about. Again, link back to the job description. If you find something that you have done in these trainings, highlight it, name it there as your course, name it as something that you have completed, that you have achieved. That's a big plus. That's a huge plus on that. The education part, other than that, not following the same structure, I spoke already about it. Have the university first, and then actually the degree that you achieved, and then the time frame. One thing, there's always discussion about how to put on the date of an education or not. So, rule of thumb: if you freshly graduate within a year, put it on there. If you're working more than a year in this career already, in the new career, don't put the date of your education on there anymore. Okay? If it's very fresh, if you just completed it, that's your biggest asset. Yes, put it in. Tell them I just finished that. I'm ready to rock and roll with you. But if it's 5 years, 10 years ago, nobody needs to see that anymore, right? Because you could exclude yourself when somebody sees, oh man, this guy is 50 already. Not sure if we want to hire him or her, right? So that could be actually potentially negative. So don't throw in a date there. And yeah, the rest is education. Okay. Oh, references. Perfect. Don't put your references on a resume as well. That is a no. Companies really tend to go and ask you for specific references in the interview. That's the new tendency, the new trend. They're actually saying, I would like to speak to this supervisor. Can you connect me with this person? Can you give me an email or phone number? because references are very often that's my best friend or that's my buddy, right? Or that is a person who I didn't report to, it's a coworker. So these kind of things, it's not good to put references at all on your resume. Wait till they ask you for references. That would be it for this resume, I guess.
Yeah, awesome, Martin. That was so great. All right. So we hope you guys could take some few things from that. And Cheyenne will be uploading our next resume. If you have that ready, I will drop this down and we'll get started.
Perfect. All right, guys, before I share the next resume, just because we are running down to the last 10 minutes, this will probably be the last one. So I'm going to name off. I do see people saying that some of their information is being missed because their internet's buffing. Let's just give you guys a quick 3 top things about that resume. So based on what Martin said, it looks like you did not need a summary at the top. You could have taken that summary and all those great things that you told us about and turned them into actual applicable bullets under the correct job experience. Make sure to show impact, right? Number 2, you don't need to put all of your education information if it's beyond 1 year. You don't need the date. You just need your degree, where you got it from, so on and so forth. You could put that there. If you are a fresh grad, make sure to put it. Let them know. Let them know, hey, I just learned all this stuff and I'm ready to apply that knowledge. And part 3, formatting and spacing, right? Martin told us so much about how 6 seconds is probably the longest they're going to take to look at your resume. Make those 6 seconds count and get it on there in 1 page. If you guys have to play with your margins a little bit, make sure to let them know, by giving yourself all the room to do that. But don't make it so hard on yourself that you're missing out on information just to extend it a couple of pages. Not worth it. Show them your impact on 1 page. Alrighty, let's go ahead and move on to the next resume. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here for you.
I'm going to try to do this one a little bit quicker. I know we're running slow on time here. If you guys want me to give any more information on something in particular, please drop the question in the chat then, and then I can give some more information on that.
Alrighty, everybody. Can we see this? Go ahead and drop a thumbs up in the chat if you can see.
I can see it. So from the first view, looking at this template, the format is way better. It's easier to read and better to find the information on. Okay. So, however, with the top part, the personal information now, it is a little bit tough to see between the email and the LinkedIn. So that I would structure that a little bit different. The name and then in one line below there, basically the location, which means the city and state, and then your email, right, your cell phone number, and then your LinkedIn on the right side, to have a little bit of a visual between, because there's so much blue right now, I don't see which link is starting. It's not a big deal, but it's something just visually better. So then the education is on top, which is very good because just complete it. If you just complete something, your education should be on top. It's your biggest asset. So from that aspect, it is really good. You have that here. Then you go to the skills and certifications. Really great way to do that as well, to make it stand out. One quick thing about the education, quickly one scroll back. One word to the GPA. You have it on both, that's great. If you ever have 2 educations on your resume and you put your GPA only on one, it's a red flag. That's kind of, oh man, the other one is probably not that good. Either you have it on all your education or you don't have it at all. Okay, so just a quick reminder when I saw that. Okay, so skills and certifications is good then, with the tools and software, really great kind of a chapter to set that apart. These are kind of the softwares were used, and the certification and languages is really great. However, this section should be towards the end of the resume, right? So the way how it is, the chapter itself is good, but put it at the end of the resume. Don't put it on top, just under the education. Okay. So the next part then, with a relevant experience, that would come then one higher if the other one is, and that is how it should be. If you're a fresh grad, your education, and then your past experience, and then the skills and certifications. So from the structure now, overall, there is a little bit hard to see what's the company, what's your role. So really do it in two separate lines. Have the company on top, then below have your title and the time when you worked there. Okay, that's really important, because that's going to take me a long time just to figure out what's actually your job title before I find that. It's going to take a little bit time, and 6 seconds is very little. So don't make it harder for the recruiter than it actually is. So the rest of the structure is, from the quick view, is good. However, I don't see any impact in here on the first 3 bullets, for example, right? It's very important. Sometimes you can't find an impact on something. Maybe that's a sign then that you shouldn't mention it in your resume. Maybe pick something different. However, if there is really no impact that you can show, yeah, you can say something then: improved customer satisfaction, improved throughput. By the time that I left, it was too new. I couldn't rate it, or things like this. Or if you just do an intern role, if you're just working there for 2 months, people know, okay, you probably don't have a ton of metrics to share at the moment. That's okay too. But always think, if you don't have anything, is there maybe something that you can put instead, that you can showcase? Okay, so then moving down to the projects. Project is the same comment, like there should be the company first, where you work in this project, and then what was your role in the project, and then the time that the project took. And very important, in projects, you need to have in the impact, the outcome. You need to tell them what was your role in the project, right? Because you're not going to do everything. Don't bring things in that you didn't have control, that you were not in charge of, that you didn't work on, just to look good. Tell them exactly what was your role and what was your impact in this project. Very important. Okay, scrolling down.
Nothing else.
Oh, that's it. Okay, perfect. So I'm sorry. I just wanted to be a little bit quicker. Anything else that somebody wants to hear about this resume? I mean, from the first glance, it is way better. However, there's still things that you need to change here to make it past the 6-second review, right? Put yourself in the eyes of a recruiter. What do I need to see? What do I want to see very fast, very easily here?
Yeah, and something I would love to point out, Martin, thank you so much, is that I mentioned at the beginning that none of these were going to be Wonsulting's resume template. This might look really, really familiar to some of you who already have our free resume template, but something I wanted to point out is that they kind of took our template and made it work for themselves, right? This is not our exact format up here. That is not exactly how we do things. So while it is similar, maybe they started off by using our template, they didn't complete using it that way. So our advice, my advice, Cindy's advice, Martin's advice is stick to what it is. We have it laid out for you, very much so. New grad, use this resume template. Why? Because it puts your education at the top, because that, like Martin said, that's your biggest asset. If you guys have more than 1 year of experience, that gets dropped down to the bottom. None of our resume templates have an objective or a summary. Why? Because your summary and objective is to get the job. Use your space wisely. Like Martin said, impact, impact, impact. That is your biggest asset. Of course, everybody, we're so happy to be here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Martin, we can't thank you enough. Our followers are so grateful for you. We're thankful for you here at Wonsulting. And we just wanted to say thank you guys so much. Leave some clapping hands emojis in the chat for Martin below. Like we said, feel free to send us over connection requests. Make sure to leave a note so we know you were here today. And we will get back to you guys ASAP. Thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate it.
Perfect.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Martin. We'll see you guys next time.
If I have 10 more seconds, I want
Go
to throw
ahead.
in something, the last point quickly. Go for your dream role. Go for what you want to achieve. You don't need to have 100% of the qualifications or skills. Don't feel bad to apply. If you find a role where you match 100% of the skills, you're not stretching yourself, you're not improving, you're not progressing, find another role.
Everything's in your reach, you guys. We're just here to support you. Feel free to send us a message. Check out Wonsulting Services. Check out Resume I. Go to wonsulting.com and let us know if you guys need help with anything. We're more than happy to get you guided in the right direction as much as we can. Thank you again so much for tuning in, and make sure to stay tuned for next week on Friday. I will not be here, but Cindy and a special guest from the Executive Wonsulting team will be talking to you guys about another topic. Make sure you guys are staying tuned, and we're so happy to have you. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.